Welcome to Responding Safely in an Emergency. Fire Safety and Evacuation Procedures for Assisted Living. Brought to you by American Way University. My name is Angie Danielski, and I have developed this course to help caregivers better understand fire safety concepts and how to carry out evacuation procedures safely in an emergency. Here's a brief overview of what the first section of this course will cover. We will begin by reviewing the fire triangle and fire tetrahedron to help us better understand how fire occurs. Next, we will discuss fire basics, including fire behavior and how fire moves. Here is a brief overview of what the second segment of the fire safety course will cover. We will continue learning more about fire basics by reviewing the special circumstances of fire, how heat transfers from one object to another, and the stages of fire. In the third segment of this presentation, we will cover fire alarm systems, including smoke and heat detectors, along with sprinkler systems. Next, we will go over fire extinguishers and the proper technique for using a fire extinguisher. Here is a brief overview of what the fourth segment of the fire safety course will cover. We will review fire prevention, including common causes of fire and what to look for, in addition to how we can ensure resident safety. In Part 5 of the presentation, we will cover evacuation planning, evacuation maps, and resident evacuation classifications. In the final portion of the presentation, we will review special evacuation considerations, evacuation procedures, and what to do when responding in an emergency. In order to better understand how fire works, it is important that we talk about the fire triangle. The fire triangle consists of heat, oxygen, and fuel, each represented as one side of the triangle. Heat can come from any source, whether that be from a light bulb, electricity, or nearby fire. Oxygen most often comes from the air around us, or may potentially be in an oxygen tank that a resident may have. The air around us is only 21% oxygen, however, this is enough to allow a fire to burn. The last side of the fire triangle is fuel. When we talk about fuel in a fire, I don't just mean gasoline that we would put in our car, but I mean anything that can burn. Fuel in this sense can be furniture, clothing, carpet, walls, cooking oil, and anything else. In order to have fire, we must have enough heat, oxygen, and fuel coming together to form the fire tetrahedron. The fire tetrahedron is a 3D triangle that includes a self-sustaining chemical reaction. The chemical reaction produces the flames we see in a fire and will continue until heat, oxygen, or fuel is removed. In order to stop a fire, we need to remove one side of the triangle. We can do this by cooling down the fire with water or another extinguishing agent, thus removing the heat, by smothering the fire to eliminate the oxygen, or by removing objects or closing doors to help eliminate additional fuel. It is important to understand the basics of fire so that if an emergency ever happens, we can ensure our safety, the safety of our residents, and our coworkers. Flames and smoke are products of combustion, or burning, so they tend to move together. Smoke and fire will take the path of least resistance. If a fire starts in a corner, it will travel up the wall and start moving across the ceiling. As the fire continues to burn, the room will heat up and the smoke will start filling the room, starting near the ceiling and moving down toward the floor. Fire moves quickly. If there is little in the way to stop it, the fire can fill up a room in as little as 2 to 3 minutes. However, That depends on what's in the room and can be even faster than that. This concludes the first section of the American Way University training of Responding Safely in an Emergency, Fire Safety and Evacuation Procedures for Assisted Living.